So one of the things we're going to practice in this class is planning our work and updating those plans to help guide our progress. We can do that in the form of the course plan, a very realistic thing towards what you're going to do in a workplace someday. Professionals need to keep track of what they plan to do, what they are doing, and when they will actually finish. So right now, first task, quite simple, is going to be to fill out this basic information. So what's your name? What's your ID? Do you have a major yet? Mine was engineering education when I got my PhD. And then what grade are you shooting for in the class? This reflects what points you're going to need to get that grade. So if you're shooting for an A in the class, you're going to need to come up with 800 points. And we'll come back to that later on, but this is a good estimation. It's okay to say, you know what? This is important to me, but it's not the most important thing to me. If I pass with a C, I'm okay with that, or if I get a B, I'm happy with that. You can always exceed your expectations. It's not going to hold you back, but it's going to set your expectations of the work coming up. And so what I want you to do is say, well, if I'm shooting for an A, am I willing to do the work for that? Am I willing to do the type of learning required for an A? I expect if you're going to get an A in data structures, you're going to know all of the basics of the data structures. You're going to be able to code things about data structures. You're going to be able to do some research on using and applying data structures, as we'll see in the course materials as we go through the rest of this class and a little bit of these videos. So the first question here I want you to reflect on is ask yourself and commit to yourself, what type of information do you want? Are you simply trying to pass this class because really I want to use, I want to be a, I don't know, real-time embedded developer. I want to go build Internet of Things stuff. I'm never going to deal with big data, so I don't really need big fancy data structures. I wouldn't necessarily agree with you, but that might be your opinion. So I just want to get past this class. I want to be able to do whatever you want me to do to get my grade. That's good enough. Or it's like, hey, I want to be a game programmer. And in a game programmer, I know we have to deal with lots of big data and have to use it very efficiently in real time. And so I really want to understand this really well. And I want to practice and be really great at it. So give you a description of what you want to get out of this class. And then be realistic. That's the goal. That's aspirational. But how does this fit into your priorities? Are you applying for internships right now? Do you have a big certification exam that you need to take in some other class? Is there just other things that are important that maybe this isn't the top priority for you? So weigh in, what do you want out of the class, but also what do you think you can give to the class? And codify that into a schedule. Now, this schedule is supposed to be as specific as you can get it. So the great news here is I can tell you right now, this includes in-class time. So we're going to spend an hour and a half on Monday and Thursday in this class. This is a Tuesday, Thursday class in this case. I mean, it might be different in a future session. But Monday, Thursday class, I can put those in right away, and that's going to be class time. But maybe it's going to be class time and study after. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get 2.5 hours on each of these days. And I'm going to say when. Now, why am I doing the description of the time frame? Well, one, it's your own commitment. Realistically, if I say I'm going to study for 8 hours on Sunday, well, when? I'm going to get up early and study? Well, maybe you don't get up early on Sundays. Maybe you don't get up till noon. So you're going to work noon till 8 o'clock at night. You're going to wait until 5 o'clock and work until 2, 3 in the morning. Be realistic. That's what plans need to be. They need to be aspirational, but if they're not realistic, they also become a lie, become a fib. And I don't really love this big block of studying at one time anyway. What I'd like to see, I already love the fact we get to study 2 different days a week. I'd like to see, like, hey, well, you know what? I'm going to do 3 hours of prep here, prep in the afternoon, because I know I have no classes there. So in the afternoon is good because I sleep in, I do some stuff in the afternoon, then I have a fun evening. Playing sports, playing video games, doing music, working, whatever you need to do. And then I'd love to see some time. You can maybe do a little bit here, maybe give a break. Well, maybe I'm going to do here. I'm going to do a tutor session. So I have a tutor planned out. You know what that means? I don't need to know all the details, but it'd be good to know if everybody's working on Saturday night. So I'm going to do 3 hours Saturday night evening because I don't go out anymore, right? So now look at this. We've got 13 hours in. That's awesome. We've got 13 hours spread across the week, which is even better. The more you can do this a little bit at a time, the better your memory is going to pick it up. The more habits of mind you'll build. But be realistic. Don't if you do go out, don't do this. Just be realistic to it. This is something you should be able to look back in a month from now and say, have you been following the schedule? And if you haven't, well, what's your new schedule going to be? You need to control your choices and your destiny, but if you don't set a plan for what those are going to be, it's harder to know whether you're living up to your hopes. If you find you're ahead of the game and you put down 40 hours a week on this, then all of a sudden you have extra time. If you find you're behind and you're not keeping up with the class pace and you realize you plan 10 hours a week but you're only giving it 4, well, now you know where that's coming from. So update the schedule to help you determine what you're going to do and how you're going to succeed. So that's all we need in this first draft. I'm going to have another video to talk a little bit about the bottom half just to get you prepared, but you don't have to update any of that until future iterations of this.